young, aggressive, hopeful, and ready. Today in their first game at the Winter Olympics against the speedy skaters from Holland. We'll be showing you the inaugural outing for both teams. Also today at the new Olympic Arena here in Lake-Placid, the fresh, enthusiastic, and very fast United States team, with bronze medal hopes held high, facing a tough, experienced squad from Sweden, like Canada, playing in Olympic competition for the first time since 1968. And we'll also be looking at the reigning world champions from the Soviet Union. The Olympic hockey competition begins before anything else at these games in order that each team can play each other once before the medal competitions begin, leading up to the closing ceremonies on February the 24th. So, competition begins tonight at the 13th Winter Games here at Lake-Placid, New York. We're underway with hockey. 6 teams, 3 games. Stay with us.
The 1980 Winter Olympics from Lake-Placid, New York. Brought to you by Esso, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years. By the Noranda Group of Companies. Noranda, like Canada's fine young Olympic athletes, we're proud to be Canadians competing worldwide. By American Express, don't leave home without us. By Revlon, makers of cosmetics, fragrances, and hair care products. By Sunkissed, if it doesn't say Sunkissed on the outside, it can't be Sunkissed on the inside. By AES, for increased office productivity. And by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786.
Good evening, I'm Lloyd Robertson here in Lake-Placid with CTV hockey commentator Bernie Pascal. And Bernie, after years of controversy and procrastination, Canada finally has a team back in the Olympic Games after 12 years, in fact, since 1968. And before we go on, we just want to explain the setup for you. The fact that the teams are broken down into 2 divisions, a red division and a blue division, 6 teams. Let's take a look first of all at the red division group. You will note that on the left-hand side of the screen, the numbers indicate the seeding of the teams according to the World Championships of 1979. Bernie?
Lloyd, we're all excited about the hockey competition here at the Olympics. The defending champions, the Soviet Union, in the same group as Team Canada. Each team plays the other 5 teams in their division once during round-robin play, and only the top 2 teams from each division will advance to the medal round. In the blue division, Czechoslovakia, winners of medals in the last 4 Olympics, lead that group. The young Sweden team, West Germany, winners of a bronze last time in Innsbruck, and then the USA, coached by Herb Brooks, and they're an exciting young team as well, Romania and Norway, rounding out that blue division, the 12 teams here at the hockey competition at Lake-Placid. And as Lloyd mentioned, Team Canada here for the first time since 1968. And a very young, inexperienced team as far as international competition is concerned, but I'm sure they'll really do a wonderful job here on the ice. And you know, let's meet the Team Canada team right now and look at the goalies in the competition. There's Bob Dupuis, a native of Ontario. He's 27 years of age and is the father of 2 small children. Paul Pajot, who played junior in Shawinigan and Quebec. Warren Anderson on defense, a physical education degree from Toronto. There's Brad Peary also. And then there's Randy Gregg, the captain, who's a medical doctor at Graduate University of Alberta. Tim Waters, who played junior in Kamloops and also at Michigan Tech. Joe Grant, a high-scoring defenseman. Don Spring, another member of Team Canada. Terry O'Malley, who's playing in his 3rd Olympic competition, the former St. Mike's junior. Ron Davidson, an art major from Queen's University. Glenn Anderson, the youngest member of the team at 19. Kevin Maxwell, an All-American from the University of North Dakota. There's Jim Nill, a former junior with Medicine Hat, Alberta. John Devaney, a former captain of the University of Alberta. Paul McLean, drafted by the St. Louis Blues. Dan Delvise, most valuable player last year at the University of Toronto. Ken Berry and his dad played for Penticton Vees in the 50s. David Hindmarch, 21 goals in 23 games at the University of Alberta. Kevin Primo from the famous Joe Primo family. His dad is a cousin of Joe Primo. And Stelio Zupancic. And his father was a pro soccer player in Italy. And that gives you an indication of the talent on Team Canada. Lloyd?
And Canadians will be fascinated to see the number of home players, Canadians, playing on the Holland team tonight. The Dutch have a tough team inclined to a North American style of play. For Canada, the question will be, can they score? Here's action from the first and second periods. Bernie Pascal.
Holland opened the scoring with a shorthanded goal. Number 5, Declos, moves down the left side, takes a shot, goes in after the rebound, into the corner, and look at the pass to Corky DeGraw, number 20. Note on the replay, Canada's defense is caught out of position, and DeGraw moves in all alone against Canada's goalie, Bob Dupuis. And he beats Dupuis on the stick side at 1:56. Canada tied the game a short time later. Hindmarch wins the face-off. The puck comes in front to Primo. And Canada ties it 1-1. Hindmarch winning the face-off, feeds the puck to John Devaney, and he makes a one-hand pass to number 21, Kevin Primo, in front. Canada then took a 2-1 lead at 11:40 of the first period. Maxwell, O'Malley, and Berry combining on the play. The puck comes back to the line to Terry O'Malley. His shot from the blue line is knocked down, and Ken Berry, number 19, scores. Berry, the native of Burnaby, British Columbia, beats Holland's goaltender Ted Lenson. And on the replay, you'll note that Lenson is caught deep in the net as the puck comes in front to Ken Berry after knocking down the shot from Terry O'Malley. The teams had 10 shots each in the opening period, and Canada enjoying a 1-goal lead. In the second period, Canada scored 2 goals. The puck comes to O'Malley, who takes a shot. It was stopped by goalie Lenson. Now watch Dan Delvise. A great individual effort results in Canada's 3rd goal of the game. Number 18, Dan Delvise, gets the puck and fires it home. Canada's 3rd goal of the game. Then later, as Canada was on a power play, they took a 4-1 lead. John Devaney, number 15, gets the puck to Hindmarch. He eludes defenseman de Heer in front, and Canada moves in front 4-1. On the replay, Devaney, number 15, moves the puck in front to Hindmarch. And Canada scores again. And Canada had a 13-5 margin in shots in the second period. And they lead 4-1. Now back to Olympic Center.
Hello again, everyone. This is Ron Roux speaking to you from the Olympic Center, where the score is 4-1. The Canadians are leading Holland. Canada will start the 3rd period of this game with a manpower advantage, 1:49 remaining in the penalty, which was called late in the second period. So Canada, with a power play goal already in this game, get the manpower advantage again. They have dominated the game from the beginning of the second period when they outshot the Dutch by a 13-5 margin. As a matter of fact, Bob Dupuis, who you see right there on your screen, had hardly any work at all in the second period. It's been a pretty good defensive game for Canada. It's from the face-off now. The puck is cleared back into Canada's zone, cleared out over center ice and down into the Dutch zone. And in checking for Canada is Devaney. Clears it around the boards. Greg at the blue line. Greg over to Anderson. Anderson back to Greg. Power play on. Here's the shot. They roll it in front at the backhand, and it went off of skate. Now in front, a quick shot again. Good save. Another shot. That one was blocked by the defense. They wind up and fire again. That's Hindmarch, who had a couple of great chances in front of the net. Now into the corner it goes. It's cleared into the corner. Devaney being checked on the play, trying to work it along the boards. And finally cleared out over center ice and down into Team Canada's zone. Racing back for it for Canada is Warren Anderson. 1:02 left in the penalty as Greg gets it on the far boards. Greg starting out. Greg Looking for a man up at center ice, gets it again, now clears it over the line, and now a chance for Canada as they try to work in front of the net, but it was blocked. Now Anderson at the blue line, cleared in front, here's a chance for Canada to get set in front, and it's blocked at the goal, and the puck is cleared away into the corner, and chopped out over center ice and down into Team Canada's territory as Dupuis out of his net, and he leaves it for Warren Anderson. Anderson is checked on the play, but Greg gets it. Greg clearing it along the boards, Barry gloved it, he's knocked down. Puck at center ice, cleared back into Canada's zone, and back to get it is McLean. McLean in the corner. Taking his time now with 20 seconds remaining in the penalty. Feeds it off to the far boards. Greg out to center ice. There it's Maxwell. Maxwell hits the line, but he's checked, and the puck comes back into Canada territory. Anderson behind his own net, starting out. He's checked. Puck is against the boards. Anderson's got it again. Puts it behind the net. Starting out Canada. Greg on the boards at center ice. He leads the rush as he's over the line. Greg looking for that man in front, and he rolled it out there, but Barry just couldn't put his stick on it. Now it's cleared back in over the blue line. Called on the offside with players trapped, and we'll have a face-off just outside the Dutch blue line.
The puck just moving inside the blue line. Here we have the opportunity by David Heinmarsh. The puck comes out 2 or 3 times here. He gets more than one shot. Here's the second one, just going wide of the net here. John Devaney poking at it, but 3 or 4 good opportunities for Canada.
From the face-off, Spring, number 8 for Canada, circling back to his own blue line. Spring cutting along the blue line, beats it off on the far side, now coming over the line. For Canada, it's McLean in front, and the shot just hoisted wide of the goal by McLean. Now the puck is cleared out. That was Barry who took that shot. McLean set that play up. Now deep in the Team Canada zone, flipped into the corner. McLean, number 17 for Canada, out at center ice. He rolled the pass ahead of Maxwell. Out of his net is Lenson, the goaltender for Holland. He clears it back down into Team Canada territory, and Spring goes back together. Spring in for checking for Holland is De Bruyne. Puck comes to the side of the net. It's cleared into the corner. There it's Barry. Barry leaving it for Maxwell, and Maxwell pins it in against the boards, and it's called for the face-off. In there along with Maxwell was De Grauw of Holland. There's number 19 for Canada, Ken Barry, New Westminster Bruins player, Memorial Cup winning team. He's got a brother playing in the National Hockey League and with the Colorado Rockies. Doug Barry. From the face-off, O'Malley clearing it out over center ice. Van Solt back in his own zone. He is checked on the play by Anderson, who's in forechecking. Cleared behind the net. Coline. Coline trying to clear it in front. Gets it now to center ice. It's sent into Team Canada territory. Deep Dupuis out of his net. O'Malley goes in against the boards. Puck is pinned in there and held as it now is sent up along the boards to center ice, and circling back is Vandenbroek. Vandenbroek to Coline. Coline, a rink-wide pass. Turning with it is Van Solt for Holland. Van Solt losing it. And Canada has it again. Glenn Anderson coming away. He feeds up ice. A good chance for Nil there, but he just couldn't put his stick on it. Scored right in front of the net. Here's a chance for Canada. They score! On the rebound, he got 2 shots at it, and Glenn Anderson put it in. And Canada takes a 5-1 lead in this hockey game at the 3:31 mark of the 3rd period.
Glenn Anderson, the youngest player on Canada's national team. We see him going off. Had the good opportunity, came in late. It was going to be an icing call. Jimmy Nil hustled, touched the puck first inside. There we have Nil touching it first. Anderson gets the first opportunity, comes around, finds the handle, shoots all in one motion by the glove hand of the Dutch goaltender.
Canada goal.
So it comes at the 3:31 mark. We'll get the official announcement here.
Number 6, Davidson, and number 12, Neal. The time, 3:31.
Davidson and Nil will draw assists on that one. Canada leads this hockey game 5-1. The first competition of the 1980 Olympics here at the Olympic Center. From the face-off now, it's down into the Dutch zone. Here's a shot that's wide of the net. It appeared to go off a leg. Holland taking over Peter Nosek. He's checked. Anderson rolling it in front, and backing away from that puck was Supancic. On the far boards, Dalvis. Dalvis behind the net. Supancic played a pretty good game for Canada here today. Supancic in the corner, circling away for some checking. Gets it out to Dalvis in front of the net, and they go into a traffic jam there. Here's another whack at it. It's still loose in front of the net. Another shot, they score, and Dalvis did it, and I think he did it all. He had about 5 whacks at that puck, and finally he got it past the goaltender, Ted Lenson, and Canada now leads 6-1.
One thing we've been trying to do is have the forwards not throw that puck blind in front of their own, in the opposition net. Keep a hold of that puck. Keep working with it. And Dan Delvise, moving in, gets the first opportunity in the backhand, stays with it, doesn't throw it blind, has enough time to come back again, get the second opportunity, and then he just reaches around and scoops the puck underneath Holland's goaltender into the far side of the net.
Supancic and Piri will get the assist on it. Time of the goal, 4:14. Puck comes to the goal mouth again as Canada is putting the pressure now on Holland. Best offensive display we've seen by Canada in this game now as it's cleared in over the line, but here comes Supancic again. He overskated it, gets it back, hits the line. Canada's going to change on the fly here as the puck is cleared down into the Dutch zone. In for checking is Piri. He leads off in the corner for Devaney. Devaney is pinned against the boards, and coming in as a trailer on the play and picking up the puck is Janssen. He clears it out over center ice down into the Team Canada zone. There it's De Bruyne. De Bruyne unable to control it. For Canada, Waters has it. Waters against the boards. Primo out to center ice. Heinmarch over the line. Heinmarch flying on that one. He got a good shot away. Gets a second shot, and that one was just wide on the far side. Now out at center ice. Circling back is Spring. Spring in his own zone. He's checked. He's knocked off stride as in on top of him was Van Gogh. Against the boards. Primo falls on the play, but the puck is picked up by Devaney. He sends it out to center ice. Heinmarch after it, but the Dutch have control. De Grauw shoots it in. Chasing in there is Wietsinger. Tried to roll it in front. There was nobody there. Now they circle back into the corner again. The Dutch rolling it out to the blue line. Flipped into the side of the net. Backhand shot. Stopped at the defense. They'll try again. Now Canada takes over once again as Heinmarch clears it out to center ice. Going back for it is Coline. Coline in against the boards. Lost sight of the puck. Now he finds it and shoots it out to center ice, only to have it intercepted out there for Canada by Joe Grant. Cleared over the line. Grant knocked off stride as he hit the line. Taking over is Vermeulen for Holland. Cleared against the boards. McLean in there. He'll hold it along with Van Solt, and it's called for the face-off in the Dutch zone.
Joe Grant, and I like the way we're skating. I like the way Team Canada's moving. At this point in the hockey game, looking very strong, skating very well. Holland seems to be tiring a little, slowing down. And of course, in Olympic competition, every goal for and every goal against may have a bearing on the final standings in case of ties.
Here's a backhand shot, rolled wide of the net as it got into the traffic jam in front of the net, and Holland takes over once again. Here is a player going down, and we'll have a tripping penalty called against Canada. The delayed whistle. Puck is out at center ice. Holland with the goaltender out now. Circling in his own end is Hille. Hille out to the blue line to Hare. He shoots it rink wide, but the Dutch are having trouble getting organized here. Still on the delayed whistle. Hille in the corner. Clears it along the boards to Hare. And the puck is finally touched as Ken Berry moved in to make the check. It's finally touched in there, and Canada is going to be called for a penalty, I believe, against Ken Berry.
Ken Berry chasing the Dutch player around the net. Put the wood on him twice. Tripping call behind the net. Canada shorthanded.
This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. So Canada will play a man short. As from the face-off, puck is cleared back in to Dutch territory. Fed away to center ice. The referee here coming over the line now for Holland on the backhand. Good save, Dupuis. It's batted away from the goal mouth area by Warren Anderson, who was there as it popped up over the shoulder of Dupuis. Now Canada coming out of its own end. Randy Gregg at center ice. Gregg to the line. Gregg circling back. Gregg trying to control the puck now as they kill off this penalty. Feeds it back to Anderson. Over to the far side. Number 12 is Jim Nill. Nill against the boards. Anderson being checked against the boards. Gets it back out over the blue line. Gets the puck again himself. He's a great skater. Anderson. Here he comes to center ice. Anderson feeds himself through the defense. He's all alone in front of the net and gets the backhand away. But coming across is Van Wieren to make the check. Good move by Anderson. Canada seeming to get its skating legs here in the third period. They didn't show much in the first two, but they're showing a little more offense here. But a great move there by Anderson on a shorthanded situation.
Glenn Anderson is a virtuoso with the puck. He is the youngest player in the team, as we've mentioned before. But he almost single-handedly, when Team Canada was shorthanded, went through the whole Dutch team. Just handled it great. Just lost control of the puck at the last moment in front of the net.
Well, they get the face-off deep in the zone. There you see it. Great play by Anderson.
Just puts the puck underneath. Whoops, where did that puck go? The defender says, can't get enough lumber on it to get the good shot. Well, he did get the shot away. The Holland defenseman tipped it by the net.
Well, Van Buren coming back, but that's the kind of play that draws penalties. You get something like that happening. From the face-off now, Van Hoek shoots it out over center ice. Back to get it in Team Canada territory is Tim Waters. He clears it out to center ice. Puck is out there. Collision. With Peary after it. Now over the line. Supancic takes the shot. Gets the shot away, but he was at a bad angle. The puck goes to the far boards. The Clow out to center ice. Jammed in against the boards is Waters, and it'll be held right in front of the Dutch bench for a face-off. We should mention here that we have for a Holland national team, we have a fair mix of nationalities here. The business is, of course, you get a Dutch passport. And we have a number of Canadians, an American, and a Czechoslovak defector playing with this team. We'll try and point them out to you as we go along here. The puck is cleared down into the Dutch zone. And Holland has it. Out to center ice. It is Plymers. Plymers over the line. Good shot. And just kicked away by Dupuis. Down goes Waters in the corner. Puck is underneath him, I believe. And is pinned in there by Supancic and Waters. And on top of them is DeBrun. And they kick it along the boards. Can't get it loose. Now it's out in front of them, but it went by everybody, and out to center ice it comes. Here comes Canada. Ken Barry down over the line. 2-on-1. Barry getting set. There's the shot. There's going to be a penalty to Holland on the play. There was a delayed whistle on the play. I believe it's for hooking.
Dick DeClos going off, and he played his junior hockey with Toronto Marlboros in Canada. But he has, well, he's got the misconduct as well as the original play. I guess he was too vociferous with referee Lindgren, and he has the second penalty coming up to go along with the original infraction against Kenny Barry.
It'll come at the 9:07 mark of the period. So I believe hooking. There's a save. And so Holland will be a man short here, trailing 6-1 in the game. Canada has come up with 2 unanswered goals here in the third period. In effect, they have scored 6 unanswered goals because they had a shorthanded goal scored on them by DeGrau back at the 1:56 mark of the first period, the first goal of the game. There's Peter Nosek. He's the Czechoslovak defector. He defected in 1968, now as a Dutch citizen and a veteran, obviously, of Dutch hockey.
Player number 5 to blue, and a minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. 2 to close, so it's a 2-minute penalty. Actually, a 4-minute penalty. So he is picked up the 2 and the 2. So there's the hooking to go with the unsportsmanlike conduct. That could be very painful by the time it's over. Now from the face-off, Peter Nosek behind his net. Jammed in there. The puck will be pinned. Now it's kicked along the boards. After it in the corner is Heinmarch. Heinmarch circling with it. He's number 20 for Canada. Behind the net. Taken by Devaney. Devaney being checked. He's tripped up on the play. Peter Nosek loses the puck then to Primo. Out in front, there's a shot, and it's blocked on the short side. They whack away at it, and they miss the net with it. Now into the corner, Heinmarch out in front all alone. What a great chance there for Primo, and he was unable to get the shot away. Now Devaney in against the boards. Devaney circling back to the blue line, and he stick-handled his way all the way out to center ice, and Canada will have to regroup. Primo against the boards for Heinmarch. Heinmarch working out at center ice. Now he's across the line. Heinmarch, good move. He gets it alone and shot it wide. Now along the boards, it's Anderson. Anderson over to the far side. He cleared it out over the line. And back to get it is Randy Gregg, the team captain for Canada. To the far boards. Taken by Heinmarch. Heinmarch on this side. Anderson starting out. Canada with 2:47 remaining in that penalty. tried to get it to Hindmarch, but he had to go off his skate. Anderson regroups, gives it to Hindmarch. Hindmarch is over the line. Hindmarch trying to circle Peter Nosek. He gets it right out into the slot and a whack at it. And down goes the goaltender. They score. Canada has taken a 7-1 lead. John Devaney got that one again on a rebound. But the one thing I think, Tom, you're going to have to really mention is the intensity that Canada is giving in their offense right now.
We get another look at it, and what this is just persistence, as you say, one that pays off. We see the original shot coming through, Kevin Primo, John Devaney all by himself in front of the net, going to the net for those rebounds, going for the second shots and the different opportunities, capitalizes to go ahead here in this game 7-1.
20 mid-March and number 21, Greenland. The time, 10:35.
10:35, the time of that goal. That's a power play goal, but now we are on the second half of the power play with 1:42 left in it as the puck is rolled rink wide. Spring couldn't reach it. Spring reaching for it now at the blue line, clears it into the corner. After it in there for Canada, it's McLean. McLean stops up in against the boards. McLean looking for a man in front in the slot, and he gets it out there. There's a good shot. The puck is loose in front. They shoot. They score. Canada has scored again on the power play. This time, Ken Barry.
Well, you really like to see the power play well. I believe that's the third Canadian power play goal. At least 3 today, perhaps a fourth. 2 from Devaney's line. Tim Waters moving to the net. The original opportunity. Kenny Barry coming through late with the second shot again. Going in, moving for those rebounds and the garbage that's around the net, capitalizing when you've got that opportunity.
11-11, the time of the goal. Canada leads this one 8-1. They have broken it open and played the most impressive hockey so far here in the third period.
Time, 11:11.
Now out to the blue line, kept in. Get the official announcement on that goal. Barry, of course, with his second goal of the game as the puck rolls to the far boards, and chasing after it is Maxwell. Maxwell clearing it around. He drew an assist on that goal. Barry into the corner. There it's taken by Paul McLean. It's been all Team Canada here in the third period. Tried to roll it through the goal mouth. Nobody there to put his stick on it. Barry's got it against the boards. Barry rolling it across, but it was intercepted by the defense. Taken behind by McLean. McLean for Canada. He's being checked on the play. Up in against the boards by DeGraw. DeGraw is number 20. Puck is hoisted out along the boards and cleared out to center ice. Canada has it once again. Circling with it is Joe Brandt. Brandt circling into his own end now. Brandt out along the boards at center ice. Carrying it in over the line is Ken Barry. Barry out in front of the net and knocking it down, but unable to get a shot away was Maxwell. He circles, but here's the chance for Canada against getting the shot. Scores! There's Barry again with a hat trick. Ken Barry has scored his third goal of the game, and Canada leads by a 9-1 margin.
Kenny Barry again, good shot that he has, one of the better shots on the team. Kevin Maxwell controlling the puck, throwing it to Barry all by himself on the far side, makes the shot between the Holland goaltender's legs.
We'll get the official announcement. Maxwell will get the assist.
By number 11, Maxwell, and number 17, McLean. The time, 12:22.
12:22. Maxwell and McLean draw assists. Canada is flying here in the third period. Here we come, out to center ice. Down over the line comes Anderson. The great speed of Anderson, and he throws a check in there, gets the puck out in front of the net, and it's cleared away, and here's a break for Holland. Out over center ice, hurts it in, and he is chased right out of the play there by Warren Anderson. Cleared over to this side for Jim Nill. Out at center ice, Davidson. Davidson hitting the line. He is stopped up there. Called on a delayed offside. Canada's in there with Nill carrying the puck, but on the delay. Offside, face-off just outside the blue line. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. There are 2 Andersons that play for Team Canada, not related. Warren Anderson, number 2, and Glenn Anderson, number 9. Both pretty good hockey players. Puck is in over the blue line on the face-off. Out at center ice, Davidson getting over the far side. There's a quick shot that was on the screen, too. Good wrist shot taken there from Andy Gray. Behind the net. Jam in the corner. Neil is number 12. And also moving in there is Ron Davidson, number 6, and they'll hold it in and call it for a face-off.
One difference in Olympic hockey. The score is 9-1 for Canada. We have 6:41 remaining. You have to keep pressing down. You have to score as many goals as you can. You can't let up on an opponent in any game, no matter what the score is or what time, because if there are ties in the final placings, and you only play each team once in the tournament, the goals for and against could determine a medal.
Set for the face-off. Puck goes into the corner, cleared around the boards by Holland. And on this side, Janssen, he gets it out to center ice, but he's being checked by Peary. Sent back into the zone. And now, starting out for Holland is Van Buren. Center ice. Down over the line, he comes to here. Going to the far boards. Checked on the play as he goes into the corner by Waters. Puck rolls out into the slot. There's a quick shot, and Dupuis sees a little rubber for one of the rare occasions in the last 2 periods. Canada has really made goaltending in this game a pretty easy job.
Team Canada is fit. We're in shape, and I think at this point in the hockey game, the conditioning of the Canadian team is beginning to show very much against Holland.
Face off to the right of Bob Dupuis. Dupuis from the Barrie Flyers, senior A team. Played a lot of his junior hockey in the North Bay area. That's his hometown. Puck is cleared into the corner. Very popular athlete in the North Bay area. Don Spring going in there. And also for Holland, that's Van Buren. He's checked. Now rolls along the boards. The Hare throws a check in there, but Canada's got the puck, and here they come. Waters at center ice, trying to get it over to the far side. That's intercepted. Waters nearly intercepted it on the return. Now it's rolled to the area in front of the net. Dupuis steered that one away from the goal mouth area, and picking up the loose puck is Peary. Clears it around to the far side for Waters. Waters on his way to center ice. Waters at center ice. Getting the pass is Zupancic. He goes over the line. He's working around the net. Zupancic looking for a man. Zupancic going to the far boards now. Now finds Spring on this side, but Spring was backing, trying to fill the defensive hole, and they couldn't reach that pass. Now it goes to the far corner. To here for Holland. He beats it back for Peternosik. Peternosik on his way to center ice. Peternosik still with that puck. Now winds up from center ice, and that one was easily blocked by Dupuis at the goal. Canada coming right back. Devaney at center ice. The pass for Primo. Primo over the line. Good move, but then he just made the extra move and lost possession of the puck. Now against the boards on this side, Hindmarch. Shooting it into the corner on the far side. There it's Primo. Primo flipping it in. And back to get it for the Holland team is DeGrow. Rolled in front of the net. Here's a chance for Canada. The backhand, but it went off a leg. And back up. Play a little scrambly right now. For Holland, DeGrow out along the right side to De Bruyne. De Bruyne tried to get past O'Malley. He was unable to. And once again, it's Canada. Along the boards, Primo at center ice, shooting it down into the Dutch zone. And back to get it is Plymers for Holland. Plymers out at center ice. DeGrow. DeGrow shooting it back. Plymers now out at center ice for De Bruyne. And now Canada. It's Hindmarch over the line. Hindmarch getting set right in the slot. There's the shot, and just deflected wide. Defense covered up there. Now out along the boards. Break. Dutch by a check. And we've got a player either tangled up in the netting, or we've got some bad tempers. I guess a little of each.
Well, bad tempers. Canada always has the reputation in these games of being the aggressor and so on, but there, the Holland defenseman almost tackled John Devaney, drove him into the back of the net, pushed him right down the side, and it was Randy Gregg that came to his rescue late, and where tempers began to flare. But it's a bad rap a lot of times. The Canadian team is trying to play a self-discipline type of game, trying not to get the bad penalties, and sometimes the opposition are going to make moves that some former Canadian teams have done in the past. There we see the push down originally of Peary right in the goal crease, but there was no call there for interference.
Comes at the 15:55 mark of the period, so we've got 4:05 left in the period. And it'll be double minors to Plymers for Holland and Devaney for Canada. Puck is against the boards. Cleared out to center ice. Anderson back in his own end. There's a brink wide. Spring. There'll be roughing penalties. Now over the line. Spring working in deep. Trying to roll it out into the slot when there was nobody there, and it's back out at center ice and down over the line now for Holland. Comes Huitzinga. He gets into the corner, but he's stopped there by Anderson. Anderson behind his own net. Now here comes Canada at center ice. It's Maxwell over the line, fakes the shot. Maxwell going in deep, and he shot it wide as he got in just a little too deep. Spring gets it at the point. Spring wide, but he got the pass behind Barry on the far side. Barry then shoots it into the corner, and there's Kevin Maxwell. Maxwell checked in the corner. That was Coline. Coline still with it, number 6. He shoots it behind the net. Holland coming away at center ice. It is taken by Vandenbroek. Vandenbroek over to the far side as they try to get it in over the line. That was Van Solk, but he's stopped. Canada tried to get it out. Now Holland will try once again. They work in. That's Peter Nosek. Peter Nosek slammed in against the boards, or at least he slammed a Canadian player in against the boards. There's a shot. It's blocked by one of his own teammates. Now rolled in front, kicked on the net. Peter Nosek's playing without a stick. And it's Spring who comes away with it. Spring out to center ice for Canada. Spun around on that play was Maxwell at center ice. And it's cleared back into the Team Canada zone. Canada will reorganize from behind his own net. It is Warren Anderson. Feeds it off on the left side. O'Malley couldn't control it. Anderson gets it back again. Behind the net. Anderson. Player's lost his glove. I believe that is Anderson playing without a glove. Cleared out to the blue line. Van Weeren keeping it in. O'Malley looks for it behind the net, but it goes all the way around to the far side. And there it is Van Solk, number 17. He clears it out to center ice. Players are out of the penalty box now. Here we come, down over the line. McLean trying to circle the defense. Gets out in front and got a shot away. Now behind the net, out in front, here's O'Malley with a chance. Shoots, he scores! O'Malley, I believe it was deflected in by the defenseman. And now we've got some pushing and shoving in front of the net. That involved Paul McLean, but Canada has scored its 10th goal here. We'll get a chance to take a look at it, but I think Terry O'Malley, the veteran, has scored, and we're going to get a penalty on the same play.
Terry O'Malley came late, moved right in from the point when there was the confusion, the first and second opportunity again. Canada again going to the net for those extra shots. Paul McLean getting the penalty after the puck was in the net. The defenseman and the goaltender took a little exception to the melee in front of that. Terry O'Malley moving in late. There's the defender touching it, going in. Paul McLean coming in late. We just don't see that final penalty.
This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. 9 remaining in the hockey game, 10-1. Canada's leader. They have exploded here in the third period, led by Ken Barry, who scored 2 of his 3 goals in this period.
Assist number 6, Davidson. The time 18-11.
They gave it to McLean, that goal, which is a little hard to understand, but
Number 17, McLean roughing at 18-11.
puck is out to the blue line now. Canada coming off a penalty as the puck comes out to center ice, and Canada's on its way now. Down over the line comes Tim Waters. Puck goes into the corner. Jammed in there. Anderson, that's Glenn Anderson, losing the puck, and Holland comes away at center ice. For Holland, it's De Bruyne. It's over the line, only to be checked. Anderson poked the puck down towards the Dutch zone. It's cleared away. Now cleared out over center ice, and Nil loses the puck, and Plymers has got it. Plymers getting it to Van Gogh. Back to Plymers. Van Gogh on this side. At center ice, try to clear it in. There's a hard check thrown by Nil and forced the offside. And we'll have a face-off with 49 seconds remaining in this hockey game, and Canada leading by a 10-1 margin. They were down 1-0 in this game on a shorthanded goal, and they've come back.
Terry O'Malley scoring the last goal, although they gave the goal to Paul McLean. Paul McLean throwing the puck in. Terry O'Malley coming late on the backhand. There's the slide. He's the last Canadian to touch the puck. Paul McLean coming in late there with the high stick and drawing the penalty. Terry O'Malley on the bench scoring Canada's last goal.
From the face-off, back into the Team Canada zone. We've got 42 seconds left in this hockey game. Out at center ice, cleared down over the line, and a check thrown in against the boards there by Barry, and cleared down the ice into Dutch territory with 30 seconds remaining in the hockey game. 10-1, Canada. An impressive third period for Canada here. Out of center ice now for Holland. Rink wide pass to here. He was unable to get past Warren Anderson, and Anderson just carries it out over center ice and throws it back into the Dutch zone. Back to get it. In his own end for Holland is Hille. Out at center ice, gives it to Janssen. Janssen into the corner. He's number 10 for Holland. He's checked just as he got in there, and it's cleared down the ice. That'll be it. The hockey game is over. And I guess if you had a little first game jitters, and I suppose Canada might have had a little bit of that in the first period, but they are impressive and got more and more impressive as they carried on here in this game.
Well, Team Canada, very happy hockey club at this point, winning the first game 10-1, and it's always good to get that good win under your belt, give you some confidence going into the rest of the tournament. And really, Team Canada didn't know very much about Holland coming into the game. We had secondhand reports of games they played with American universities in the eastern part of the United States, but really an unknown quality before playing the game today.
All right, we can give you the shots on goal total now, and it is an even double on what Holland put out. Shots on goal in the third period were 17-5. Total shots on goal 40-20. And so, if you look at this game, you have to look at Ken Berry, 3 goals, and I think the other half of the story is the defensive play of Canada, because I think they were impressive in the first 2 periods defensively, not offensively, and then the story in the third period was they really took it to the bench.
Well, what I feel was the most important thing for Canada, I really like to see that conditioning pay off in the third period. I think at the last part of the second period and for all of the third period, Canada certainly outskated Holland by quite a margin. And you like to see that great conditioning late in the game, because that's going to hold Team Canada in good stead down the line in some of the more difficult games that they're going to have to face in this tournament.
There you see it. Canada 10, Holland 1. Opening game of the 1980 Olympics. Canada had the honor of starting it all off, and they started off on the right foot. 10-1. Canada wins. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Welcome back to our CTV Olympic coverage from Lake-Placid, New York. No question about it, a very impressive debut for Team Canada today with that 10-1 win over Holland. They gave up the initial goal but came back with 10 unanswered goals. And as Ron Roosh and Tom Watt pointed out on the telecast, a standout offensively for Team Canada was 19-year-old Ken Berry. Berry scored 3 goals, the hat trick, combining on the third one here with defenseman Joe Grant and his right winger Kevin Maxwell. You'll note on the replay, Ken Berry takes the puck and he'll swing behind the net to get his 3rd goal of the game. Berry, a native of British Columbia, 3 goals for Team Canada in this exciting game at the Olympic Fieldhouse. And there it is, and a victory for Team Canada over Holland, and one has to be impressed and excited about Team Canada's play today. And a great game by Ken Berry. We'll have more hockey coverage, and this is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. After that big win today over Holland, Canada now will have the day off tomorrow. Their next game will be Thursday against Poland, and then Saturday they play Finland. We're going back out now to the field house to meet the star of the game, and here's Ron Roosh.
Well, if things go the way they went today, the number 19, Ken Berry, is going to become a very familiar face here in Lake-Placid. A hat trick for Ken, 2 in the third period against a Dutch team that was a little tenacious early on, but you finally figured them out, it looked like, in the third period, and got ahead of them a bit.
Yeah, it took us a while to get going. You know, the first 2 periods we were kind of maybe laying back, playing more defense. Then the third period we started to get our offense moving, and we popped a few goals.
Tell me about the flow of the game anyway. Were you sort of a little stage fright? You know, you're the first teams to get into competition here in Lake-Placid, the first event, the first time for you, of course. Did you feel a little shaky going out into this one?
Well, yeah, you know, it's always the first game. I was a little nervous. Guys were maybe a little tense at the beginning. That's probably why they kept us to a low score, you know, in the first 2 periods. But I think once we loosened up and got going, we showed our stuff in the third.
The tendency, I would think, is to go back to basics. In other words, let's not have too many scored on us. Let's just sort of get our stride, but let's play defense first.
But yeah, that's our game, you know, just try to keep the goals down and get as many for. The idea in this tournament is if there's a tie, you know, they go on goals for and against, so the less goals you have scored against you, it's better.
You got into that third period, and I think the intensity was much better for the team in the other end. You started to forecheck and do the things that you really want to do in the other end.
Yeah, I think maybe they started to tire up. But, you know, they started getting tired a little in the third period, so we took advantage of it and our offense started working a little better, and we scored a few goals.
You guys look like you're in great shape.
Yeah,
you're really skating well in the third period, I think.
Well, we've been working on it a long time, you know. We haven't played that many games this year. We've been mostly practicing, so we should be in good shape.
Tell me about the 3 goals. Can you reconstruct them for me just quickly?
Well, they weren't much. I think all 3 of them were scored from deep in the slot. I think the first one, Paul McLean fed me the puck, and I put it low on the ice. And the second one was came from the point, I think, in the air, and I stopped it with my foot, put it on the ice again, and the third one was up high.
I like to see, again, the old business of being in there for the rebounds and the stuff that's around the net. You've got to be in there to do it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Is that your kind of hockey game? You like to work around the slot?
Well, I do, but I think I work just as well in the corners.
All right, tell me a little bit about life as an Olympian, a member of our Olympic hockey team. Has it been a good life? Have you enjoyed your year? I know it's a lot of dedication for you.
Yeah, we've made sacrifices through the year, but, you know, we're here now, and it's really exciting, and hopefully we'll get a medal.
Get a little tired of the travel? You know, you've been half the time living out of a suitcase, I think.
Well, no, it's been great, you know, traveling over to Europe and Japan, and just thrilled about the whole year. It's been fantastic.
Ken, we wish you the best of luck. A great game, great way to start, good team effort, I thought, and I think you're going to have a good tournament.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, Ken Berry's joined us here. This is Ron Roosh reporting from the Olympic Fieldhouse.
And just a reminder that you're watching hockey tonight before any other events begin, even before the opening ceremonies, because all these teams have to play each other once in their own divisions before they get down to the business of medal play for the gold, silver, and bronze, and the Olympics wrap up on February 24th. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic network. It was an important game for the United States today against Sweden. Sweden is back in international hockey for the first time since 1968. They placed 3rd in last year's World Championships. Canada placed 4th. For the United States team, they are looking for a repeat of what happened in Squaw Valley in 1960. They want to win the gold. Here with the first and second period highlights of the U.S.-Sweden game, Bernie Pascoe.
Thanks, Lloyd. It was physical and a hard-hitting game with superb goaltending, but at times the goalies were involved in extracurricular activity. Watch U.S. goalie Jim Craig here. Hits Per Lindqvist of Sweden. Fortunately, he was not seriously injured, and there was no penalty. Ken Morrow, number 3 of the USA, starts an impressive play here. The pass to Eric Strobel. Strobel moves in, but he fails to score. Now the play comes right back. Sweden, number 15, Mats Naslund, a 20-year-old forward drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. This time, U.S. goalie Jim Craig keeps Sweden off the scoreboard, but a good effort by Mats Naslund. The USA had a goal called back. David Christian passed to Buzzy Snyder, but he was offside. Both skates were over the center red line when he accepted the pass. The play was disputed, but there was really no basis for argument, as Soviet official Viktor Dombrowski was right on top of it, and he made the right call. You'll see it on the replay, the offside pass. No question, he receives the pass over the center red line. Swedish goalie Pelle Lindberg a little upset because the whistle had gone, but the player took the shot. Team USA had another great scoring opportunity. A short time later on this play, number 9, Neil Broughton. It's stopped by Lindberg, gets the rebound. But Mats Waltin, a Swedish League All-Star, makes a key defensive play. And the puck was finally smothered. On the replay, look how close that was. But again, Lindberg, a big save. The game's first goal scored by Sweden. Number 23, Lars Molin, starts the play, passes to Berglund. Watch the play in front to Anderson. He deflects it past Craig, and Sweden moves in front 1-0. The game's first goal. Lars Molin, number 23, setting it up. Anderson right in front and deflects it home. The game did feature impressive goalkeeping at both ends. Watch the skate save that the American goalie Craig makes on this play as action is heavy around the USA net. Craig gets that right skate and kicks that shot away. Team USA tied the game late in the second period. A two-man breakaway. It's set up by number 5, Mike Ramsey. Mark Johnson and Dave Silk sent in all alone. Silk, number 8, scores the goal. And it's 1-1 at that point. Silk, a 22-year-old right winger from Massachusetts. And the American supporters had plenty to cheer about at this stage. Johnson and Silk in all alone. Johnson gives it to Silk, and he fires it home. And it's 1-1 at that point after 2 periods. Lloyd?
So it's the United States and Sweden, a must game for the U.S. They should gain a point here in order to put themselves in good contention for the medal round. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic network.
Third period of what has been a pretty good hockey game between the United States and Sweden. The second game of the Olympic tournament. It's a 1-1 tie. Sweden inside the zone. A shot taken there just inside the blue line by Thomas Jonsson. And it's rolled just wide of the net into the corner, and the Americans will take over in their own end. Mark Johnson deep in his own end. He leaves it off for David Christian. Christian circling his own net to the far side now, and it's fired out over center ice. And moving in over the line comes Johnson. Johnson losing the puck in the corners. The Swedes take over, and now they come out of their own end. It's center ice for Sweden. That's Mats Naslund, number 15, but he can't control it. It's sent right back into the Swedish zone. Jonsson's got it, but he loses it, and it's slammed in against the boards there as Mark Johnson took it. Now Johnson battling in the corner along with Jonsson, and it's held there, and it'll be called for a face-off deep in Swedish territory. So there was 1 goal in the first period. That one scored by Sture Anderson at 11:04, and then just seconds before the second period ended, David Silk scored for Mike Ramsey and Mark Johnson, 19:32, and it's a 1-1 hockey game. Face-off to the right of the Swedish goal from the face-off back to the blue line, getting set and getting a shot away is Ramsey, and a pile up in front of the net. The puck winds up in the corner. Urcioni clearing it to the side of the net, and Sweden will come away with it now at center ice. Alberg to the line. Alberg cutting it over the line, still has that puck, shoots it in front of the net, but it's intercepted there by Ken Morrow. Morrow behind the net. Morrow leaving it for Broughton. Broughton getting it along the boards, but it's kept in by Söderström. The U.S. trying to get out of their own end now. A 1-1 tie. The puck is out at center ice and intercepted there by Valtin, a veteran on this team. Eriksson trying a rink-wide pass. That was knocked down by Ramsey of the U.S. Now Alberg hits the line. He's offside with a player trapped, and we'll have a face-off. We played 1 minute and 32 seconds here in the third period. 1-1. The United States and Sweden.
Tommy Sandlin, the Swedish coach, has been the Swedish national coach before, and also the coach of Brynäs, the club that Börje Salming had played for before coming to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
And the puck at center ice now. Anderson over to the far side, bringing it over the line for Sweden is Eriksson. Behind the net, the United States around the boards, out to the blue line. Anderson keeping it in. Now it's off the heel of Pavlich's skate. Pavlich chasing after it in the center ice area. Here's a rink-wide pass. Harrington over the line, but he can't reach that puck as it's steered behind the net by goaltender Pelle Lindberg. We've had good goaltending in this game. Lindberg in the Swedish net, and Jim Craig for the United States. Puck is shot well wide of the net, behind the net for the U.S. Buzz Snyder. Got it out in front. Nobody there could put it in, and that's at center ice now. For Sweden, Molin over the line, into the corner for Luckner. Cleared around the boards, out to the point, kicked right back in again by Jonsson. But the United States takes over once again. Pavlich at center ice. He's number 16 over the line. Pavlich stick handling along the line, and he lost possession of it. But the U.S. still in possession at center ice as Baker shoots it in. Pavlich sticking in after it. Pavlich in the corner with a defenseman draped all over him. He manages to get it around the boards, and Schneider. But it's cleared out to center ice, and once again, Baker going back for it. He'll touch it, and icing will be the call.
Very interesting game in the first period. Sweden dominated the game, outshot the United States by quite a margin. Just a complete reversal in the second period. Mainly a lot to do with fans like this gentleman on your picture. Here we see some of the action going into the corner. Harrington taking the Swedish player hard into the boards. But it turned around in the second period, and the fans started USA, USA. U.S. came back in the second, and early in the third have dominated the period so far.
From the face-off, Silk, he's got the goal for the United States. It's number 8 going against the boards after that puck. And it's finally pinned in against the boards, and we'll have a face-off again to the right of goaltender Pelle Lindberg. Lindberg is a good goaltender, and they say this is the main strength of the Swedish team, is their goaltending. And Lindberg belongs to the Philadelphia Flyers if he ever decides to turn to the National Hockey League. That's all the Flyers need. They've got great goaltending already. Puck is against the boards. Cleared along the boards. Norberg can't get it. There's Wells clearing it across. Oh, what a save there. Great reaction by Lindberg as that puck came across the goal mouth. Now here's the United States putting the pressure on. And that shot by Morrow was just wide of the net as it went off a skate. Now behind the net, the U.S. starting to put a little pressure on, is taking the puck in his own end is Holmgren. Holmgren going in against the boards along with Mark Wells. Cleared out in front of his own net. And clearing it out to center ice is Norberg down into the U.S. zone. There it'll be touched by Morrow and called for a face-off. What a great chance there. The United States very nearly went into the lead.
Fans booing the Swedish team for icing the puck, but quite common in Europe to take the pressure off when they're really being dominated in their own zone. Lindberg just getting his toe there. Silk, who's got the first goal for the United States, had an excellent opportunity. Lindberg just coming across, stopping it with the toe of his skate.
Face-off will be to the right of the Swedish goal again. Mark Johnson, the centerman for the United States. Taking the draw, but winning the draw for Sweden was Håkan Eriksson. The United States has the puck inside the zone, but can't control it, and Eriksson will come out of his own end. Eriksson at center ice, feeds it off on the right side to Alberg. Alberg shooting it in, but Christian takes over behind his net. There's it into the corner. Picking it up, starting out of his end now for the United States. That is McClanahan. Over the line, McClanahan trailing on the play, nearly picked it up, but it's taken away now for Sweden by Alberg. Alberg at center ice, falling just as he hit the line there was Soderstrom, and the United States once again. Flipping it out to center ice, knocking it down is Valtini, loses the puck, here's the chance, oh, hit the post. He made the save, but it dribbled by him and hit the post. Great chance again for the United States as they are maintaining the momentum of play that seemed to go their way during that second period of this game. Now, again, it's Maltine coming out of his own end, drops the puck back. Picking it up is Moline. Moline over the line, fakes the shot, shoots, and he shot it wide. Over the far side, after the puck is Eriksson. Into the corner it goes, and the United States, Christian, it rolls back to the far side. Luckner scores! With startling suddenness, Sweden has gone into the lead after a couple of great opportunities that just didn't result in goals for the United States.
Well, what a difference a post makes. Mark Johnson, who I consider to be the best player in the United States team, hitting the post, Sweden coming right back, Eriksson left all alone just in front of the net. And actually, the forechecking of the Swedish team was excellent. They hustled right into that zone early, threw it in front of the net. Eriksson was all by himself. Here you see him just parked off the edge. The puck comes across, and he just directs it all in one motion. He doesn't really shoot it as the puck comes over the corner. He just directs it by Craig.
Well, now it's comeback time for the United States. They trail in it 2-1. Eriksson getting the goal. Puck is rolled out in front. Here's a chance for the U.S. Moore shoots. He's right on with it, and he took it off the shoulder, did Lindberg, and holds on. Great chance there for Erzioni, who got into the slot area and had the goaltender cold. So the face-off will be to the left of the Swedish goal. On the face-off, Erzioni goes after it, but the Swedes control it. It's cleared to the line, not out, just hits the line now, falling as he tried to get out of his own end is Erzioni. Gets it again on his knees on the far boards. Now he's circling with it. Erzioni back into his own end. Morrow cutting across ice. Now feeds it off to Kristoff. Kristoff over the line. Kristoff along with Broughton. He's number 9. And it'll be called for a face-off outside the line.
A tripping penalty here to Sweden, just in front of the Swedish bench, just before the United States controlled that puck. Man advantage coming up for the United States.
Just the third penalty in this game, all minors. Jönsson. This one comes at the 5:32 mark. Make that 5:32.
The puck moving just in front of the Sweden's bench. There's the tripping call. Just pull the skates out from underneath him. Maybe a little skate between the legs.
Referee for this game, Viktor Dombrovsky of the Soviet Union. There you see him. The linesman, Kent Stewart of Canada, and Nico Turman of Holland. On the face-off, the United States controls the puck as it comes back out to the blue line. Baker feeding it in. Rolled it out in front. Getting a chance here is Johnson, but he just couldn't hang on to the puck. Had to go to the boards for it. Now back to Christian at the blue line. Back to Johnson. Johnson moving in. Johnson getting set. Tried a shot and it went off a leg, but it goes behind the net, and the United States still maintains possession. Johnson out to the blue line. Christian, number 23. Christian just backing along the line, gives it into Johnson. Johnson back behind the net, try the give and go on that one. Now Johnson takes a whack at it, and it hopped over top of the net. A bit of a battle behind the net there. It's Eriksson. Eriksson unable to control it, gets it again, and he'll bring it out to center ice as he feeds it off to the left side. Eriksson shooting it right back into his own end. Ball team. There are two Eriksson on the ice right now. Number 6 for Sweden is Jan Eriksson. As now the United States with 1:06 remaining in the power play. Christian at center ice to the line. Hucker's stick handle along the line, still inside the zone though. Moving in deep after it is Baker. Baker clearing it into the corner. Now they control the puck inside the zone. Back out to the blue line, Johnson. Johnson getting it in. McClanahan rolled it across. And cutting in from the wing there was Dave Christian, but unable to get the shot away. Now it's taken by Strobel. Strobel gets to the side net. Roll in front. A shot. And down goes the goaltender. Where's the puck? It comes loose and is carried into the corner. United States with a great chance there. Now it's center ice. Lars Moline circling back in his own zone. As the United States caught changing there, we're unable to get any pressure on Moline. Ramsey goes deep in his own end after the puck. We've got 19 seconds left of the power play. Into the corner. Naisland. Naisland jamming in there. Puck comes to the blue line. Nicely stick handled by Holmgren. Holmgren shoots it right out to center ice. There it's taken by Weinstock. Over to the far side. There Eriksson. Håkan Eriksson. At center ice now. They will bring it with Naisland carrying the puck. Naisland just shot it right onto the stick of Morrow. The penalty has ended. At center ice for the U.S., Mike Ramsey. Ramsey bottling up the players. Ercione's over the line. There's a shot and a glove save there by the goaltender. And a little shoving and pushing going on in against the glass involving Ercione, the team captain, and Håkan Eriksson of Sweden.
Both of them going to get penalties, a little pushing behind the net, but a good call by Dombrowski before, because what happened, the linesman got caught up against the boards and he blew the offside before this little scuffle started at the blue line. Here we see the few little punches thrown, the gloves not coming off, but both players going off for roughing.
So, double penalties, double minors. They'll come at the 7:45 mark of the period. Face-off will be outside the blue line of Sweden. Ercione, you saw him in the penalty box. We mentioned the team captain. For Boston University, is the second all-time point getter at the school. Just 1 point behind their top player ever at the school, Rick Mahar. Now plays in the Montreal Canadiens system at Nova Scotia. Out at center ice now. Cleared off on the boards to Weinstock. Over the line. Suter's got it. Suter, he'll start out of his own end now. Suter at center ice. Here's a break. Over the line they come. And they try to drop the puck back. There's the shot. And it's juggled by Lindberg. That got all messed up as it came over the line. But then inadvertently there was a good drop pass made. And a good save made by Lindberg. And another pile up in front of that net.
Buzzy Schneider has great speed for the United States team. He's a veteran of the last Olympic team in 1976. In fact, I remember a big goal he got for the United States. Here we see he's got great speed, Schneider, not a great goal scorer. He breaks in, tries to drop it to his partner. There we see Lindberg going down, catching the puck as Schneider made the play, breaking in the middle, and then giving a little drop pass. Another look at it from a different angle. Lindberg holding the puck, killing it, getting the face-off.
Now the face-off, Ramsey's got it. Here's a shot, and it just deflected wide. That one hit a skate and then slowed right up and had Lindberg off balance, but it went wide of the post. Behind the net now for Sweden. Into the corner goes Eriksson, Jan Eriksson, and he has checked on the play, tried to get it out in front, but it was intercepted, and Valtin's got it for Sweden. Valtin with Weinstock at center ice. Valtin to the line. Over to the far boards now. Eriksson. Eriksson Trying to find a man in front, but he's checked on the play, and the U.S. comes away with it. At center ice, Pavlich, a rink-wide pass, but standing up there and taking it was the veteran Valtin, and he sends it back to his mate, Per Lundqvist. At center ice, Eriksson. Eriksson shooting it in. Hits in on the far boards. Taken by Eriksson, or rather by Baker for the U.S. Baker coming to center ice. Down over the line now comes Strobel. Strobel shot. He's wide with it. And cutting it on the boards on the far side is Baker. Into the corner. The Swedes come out. Thomas Jönsson giving it to Sture Andersson. At center ice, there is Molin over the line. Molin heading for the corner, trying to set up a play in front of the net. Molin's bumped off the puck there. Puck goes into the corner. The shot wide of the net. Knocked down and taken into the corner for the United States by Bill Baker. He gets it out to center ice, and it's cleared in and back out again, and chasing it down on this side for Sweden is Lars Molin. Now over the line, trying to get free of the checking there was Lundqvist. He's unable to, and the puck is cleared all the way out to center ice. Play a little scrambly right now as teams are checking well here. And over the line for Sweden is Molin. Molin to the side of the net, but he's checked off the puck, and here comes the U.S. once again. Up the right boards, but unable to get past the checking was David Silk. It's out at center ice. Again, the Swedes throwing it deep into U.S. territory. Christian's back to touch it, and it's called on the icing. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Anybody want to play around the clock?
Gee, I'd get tired after a couple hours. First, you have to start with a double.
Can I just stick with my golden?
Yeah. Hi, what's your sign?
Excellent.
Why is it some chicks can't take a yes for an answer?
How do you feel about darts?
Oh, about the same as pleats.
It's all on the wrist.
It's all in the glass.
The point of this commercial? When it's a good, smooth golden, you go for it.
Well, there's the coach of the United States, Herb Brooks. He's a gold medalist a few years ago as part of that 1960 United States team at Squaw Valley. As a matter of fact, the son of one of the players on that U.S. team is playing for the U.S. team here. David Christian, son of Billy Christian, part of the Christian brothers, were well known. Amateur hockey circles around the world in the 50s and 60s. The United States, of course, hoping that home ice advantage will help them once again in this 1980 version of the Winter Olympics. Puck is cleared into the Swedish bench, called for a face-off.
Well, I think home ice has already helped. I think that the fans certainly in the arena today are chanting USA, 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 and I think that after sort of a dismal first period that they had, I think the fans shouting and getting them back in the game here has made a difference to them in the second and third period.
There's a shot quick, and Silk again nearly finds pay dirt. Silk against the boards, being tied up. The puck pops to Valtin. He doesn't take it. Leaves it there for a mate. Now Silk's got it along the boards once again. Silk out in front of the net, and there's a chance as fanning on it was Bill Berchota. He goes in against the boards after the puck now. They poke away at it, and it's called for another face-off. And both teams will make changes here. Herb Brooks is the coach now at the University of Minnesota and has had a great deal of success there, and many of his players from the University of Minnesota are playing on this U.S. national team. I swear half of them are going to end up in the Minnesota North Stars, the way they've been drafting them. They've got quite a number of them. Now from the face-off, again Sweden with a quick break, and it's thrown all the way down the ice past Per Lundqvist. It goes deep into USA territory, but it was offside in any case, and icing will be called. Face-off will be back down to the left of the Swedish goal.
Well, a very good call, as a matter of fact, because even though the Swedish player did touch the puck, he was offside at center ice, coming all the way back, so it might as well have been the icing call, but not really an icing, but an offside call going all the way back into Sweden's zone.
Well, the crowd's starting to get up again as from the face-off. Ercioni couldn't control it, but it still kept in the zone. Now it's fed out over center ice. Lundqvist racing after it deep in the USA territory. Back there to touch it is Christian. Christian behind the net, battling with Lundqvist. Lundqvist still after that puck, but the USA prevails, and here they come once again. Kristoff out of his own. At center ice, Kristoff still with the puck as he hits the line. Now he's checked, and the puck goes loose. Christian's got it. Christian shooting it in. Now deep in the zone. Here's a chance. Brunt looking for man in front. And a player was dumped up right in front of the net there. Erzioni, that was. The puck is brought back out to center ice. There's a long shot, and that got through Craig's legs and ends up in the corner. Now Erzioni. There's a shot. Gloved easily by Craig. Christian's behind his own net. Christian being chased by Naslund. Into the corner it goes. Number 18 for Sweden is Holmgren. He gets it over for Lundholm. A shot by Weinstock that is deflected into the corner. And the USA trying to get out of their end now. Starting out is Erzioni. He's checked on the play. The puck winds up in the corner with Jonsson. Jonsson, a quick shot, juggled by Craig. He'll hold on. We'll have a face-off.
The puck that got by Craig was a very dangerous shot that seemed to go right underneath his legs and out the other side but wide of the net. But the first time today, where really he hasn't looked certain, he's looked very sure in the goal for the United States today. A very steady goalkeeper. He's played well all year.
Here's that shot, juggled by the Craig, which caused the current stoppage in play. Faceoff will be to Craig's left. He's from the Boston University, team that won the NCAA title in the United States, the college title in 1978. Puck comes out over the blue line, so hopped over the stick of Jan Eriksson. Harrington goes down, but here comes Pavlich over the line. A shot, and a good one it was. Just missed the outside of the post. We're going to have a penalty called against, I believe, the Swedes. It will be called, and the United States will have the opportunity again to make use of a power play.
With 7:43 left, the holding penalty to Sweden. The United States going to have the advantage. Swedish captain complaining to referee Dombrowski, but 2 minutes for holding. He gives the sign to the scorekeeper going off. The United States are going to have the advantage again.
So holding penalty, the time of the penalty will 12:17.
United States, Mark Johnson controlling it against the boards, being taken in. That wasn't the original infraction. That was the second infraction where they were trying to control the puck getting the goaltender out. The original infraction which caused the penalty was on the far side and again on Johnson, or on Mark Johnson.
So Jan Eriksson in for holding at 12:17, and the faceoff will be just inside the blue line. Sweden leading this hockey game here in the third period by a score of 2-1. Kristoff taking the draw for the U.S. just kept in over the line there by Christian. On the boards, Christian trying to block it, but it pops out over the blue line and down into the United States zone, and back to get it will be Ramsey. Ramsey circling the net. Starting out on the left boards, Ramsey chased out of the play there, still gets the puck, prevails as he gets over the line now, tried to backhand it into the slot area, but there was nobody there that could reach that. Now it's clear to the blue line, Christian keeping it in, he moves in, takes the shot, and it goes high into the air, hits the back boards, and the United States has got the puck again. Christian working along the blue line. Christian getting set, here's the shot, and it's just deflected wide. It came off the stick directly in front of the net of Erzioni. Erzioni in against the boards now. The U.S. trying to roll it in front. It goes into the corner, and Christian's after it. Christian shooting it in. Now along the boards for the United States, Kristoff. Kristoff trying to find a man in front now. Kristoff now drops it back to Christian. Christian getting set. Now in for Kristoff. He's set in front, and he shot it wide. It goes into the corner for Sweden. It's cleared down the ice by Swedish player Eriksson. Craig leaves it for Christian. Christian shooting it around the boards on the far side. Bill Baker for the United States. Along the boards, Valtin. And Baker gets it again. Now to Christian. Christian up ahead at center ice. Carrying the puck for the U.S. is Mark Johnson. Johnson tried to get it over to the far side, but it rolled off the end of his stick, and Kristoff couldn't make it. Now Johnson tries to get it out in front. Parked right in front of the net there was Erzioni, but it was intercepted by the goaltender and winds up down in the U.S. zone again. Back to get it is Morrow. He stops up behind his net. Now ahead for Baker. Baker at center ice. Carrying the puck for the United States is Broughton. He's over the line. Broughton to Silk. Silk in the corner. And the Swedes make the check there, and it comes out to center ice. Naslund for Sweden. Naslund over the line. Naslund trying to get set, and he is flattened just as he tried to hit the line. And I believe there's going to be a cross-checking call made, and a rather questionable one, I thought, on the defenseman for the United States, Ken Morrow.
European officials interpret when you move your arms well ahead of your body with the stick, even if the check is not all that hard, they interpret that as being cross-checking, even though it doesn't seem to be. We just see the end of the check. Morrow stepping in front of the Swedish player, cross-checking, moving those arms too far away from in front of his body with the stick.
Okay, Ken Morrow off for cross-checking at 14-15. The face-off will be in the U.S. zone, with Sweden holding a manpower advantage. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. The score is Sweden 2, the United States 1. Just about set to go as soon as they can get the alignments out here. It'll be 4 skaters to 3, really. There's Victor Dombrovski. So killing off this penalty will be Schneider for the United States, along with Baker and Ramsey. Mike Ramsey, first time ever a United States player, a United States-born player, had been chosen in the first round of the draft, and he was this past summer by the Buffalo Sabres. Elected, of course, to stay with the U.S. Olympic program. And now it's Ramsey who's got the puck right at the blue line. He winds up the shot, deflects off a couple of legs, and winds up behind the net. Sweden having a little difficulty getting moving here. Turning in his own on Mats Valtin. Round the boards on this side now, and at center ice it's Eriksson. Eriksson's checked by Pavlich. Cleared back to Ramsey in his own zone. Ramsey to Baker. Baker along the boards, and they got by everybody down the ice into Swedish territory, and Valtin will try once again. Valtin standing behind his net. Here he comes from behind the net. He starts out. Valtin tried to get a pass away, and he caught his man not really moving too well, and so it winds up being cleared all the way down the ice, and Baker's got it in his own end, and is called on the icing on that play, and will come back down to the Swedish end for a face-off with 1:03 remaining in the penalty.
United States doing a terrific job. Schneider and Pavlich putting a lot of pressure. Even though they're short-handed, they come after you when they're short-handed. They don't turn and pick their wings up when they're short. They forecheck very vigorously, trying to slow you up in your own zone, making you take your time coming out, and really the Swedish team hasn't got the puck over the United States blue line and are able to set up their power play. They've had a great deal of difficulty breaking the U.S. forecheck.
Well, time becoming a factor for the United States. 4:48 left in the hockey game. They trail by 1 here. Closely fought contest. From the face-off, Kristoff couldn't get any control of it, and Sweden comes away at center ice. Now Lundqvist, he's number 8, against the boards. Beats it in deep. Watch the area in front of the net. Now here it comes, and a chance for Sweden, but they shot it wide. As cutting across in front of the goal mouth there was Eriksson. Now back to the blue line. Here's a shot, a screen shot, and just getting his glove on that was goaltender Jim Craig. Behind the net, Kristoff. Kristoff shooting it down the ice. And Sweden will go back and regroup with 31 seconds remaining in the penalty. Comes out to the blue line. Here's Christian with a chance, and that was blocked by the defense. Steered into the corner. Another shot that is deflected wide of the net. And taken by Skora Anderson. He gets it to Berglund. Berglund at center ice. Berglund over the line. Working for the corner. On top of him is Dave Christian. He's cleared out to center ice once again. Back into his own end. Weinstock. Weinstock behind his own net. Number 4 for Sweden. Out at center ice, Berglund. Berglund had to go off the heel of his skate all the way down into the USA zone. Baker ahead, intended for Morrow. That went by everybody and down into the Swedish territory. The penalty is over. We've got 3:38 left in this hockey game. Naslund along the boards, took a check, but Sweden maintains possession. Down over the line they come. There's the quick shot. The rebound comes right back out in front of the net, but Jonsson just wasn't in deep enough to get any kind of a shot away. Out of the far side, USA looking for that break now if they can, and they feed it all the way down into the Swedish zone. Offside on the play was Strobel, but it was a delayed offside, and Sweden was allowed to bring it back out. Holmgren in forechecking. The USA clear it right down into the Swedish zone, and it's called on the icing. The face-off will be back in U.S. territory.
Well, at this point of the hockey game, Sweden making another change. When you've got a 1-goal lead, 3 minutes to go in the hockey game, you want to change at every opportunity. Make sure that the people that are out there are as fresh as you can have them at this point in the hockey game. They have to check hard to try and maintain that 1-goal lead. They're not too interested in getting the goal at this point unless the United States is forced to take that goaltender out. But here they want fresh people, check well, do the job, get off quickly.
There you see the story. story. 3:06 left in the game. And the score, Sweden 2, USA 1, as from the face-off. Around the boards, Mike Ramsey. Gets it again, clears it out to center ice. Silk racing after it, but cutting across ice is Eriksson, and he shoots it into the corner on this side. Out to the blue line, Baker just craps it out there, has to wait for Mates to get back on side. Back now for Ramsey. Ramsey to Verchota, back to Ramsey. Ramsey, it's center ice, flipping it in over the blue line, and digging in after it is Silk once again. Silk in the corner, cleared to the blue line, all the way down the ice. Will get icing again as long as the U.S. player gets to it first, and Ramsey's back there to get it, and it'll be called with 2:28 left in the hockey game. Should mention the importance of this game, Tom, because the team that loses this could very well find itself out of the medal round.
Well, you never like to lose the first game, but it's certainly true. The United States has a very difficult draw in the hockey game, or in the tournament. They play their first game against Sweden, who are the bronze medalists at the last World Championships, and they play tomorrow against the Czechoslovakians, who are the silver medalists. So their first two games are certainly tough.
Well, the face-off will be to the left goaltender Pelle Lindberg. Broughton will take the draw against Moline. And from the face-off, they'll do that all over again. Some encroachment as Naslund got into the face-off area. There's Moline, number 23 for Sweden. Should mention the youngster on the wing, Naslund, who the Canadians, the Montreal Canadiens, drafted last year. Hoping to eventually talk him into coming to North America to play hockey. The puck is in the zone, cleared out to the blue line. Christian just keeping it in, and he shoots it into the corner. The United States now will pull out all the stops out in front of the net, and it went off a leg there as reacting was Håkan Eriksson, and Eriksson comes away with it to center ice. Eriksson over to Naslund. Naslund, who's a good skater, comes in front of the net, but he is checked just as he tried to make the cut. And with less than 2 minutes remaining in the game now, the puck comes out to the blue line and hops over a stick and is cleared back into the Swedish zone. Weinstock ahead for Naslund. Naslund shooting it in. Craig hangs on to the puck, now leaves it for Kristoff. Kristoff is checked, goes into the corner. They'll try and get Craig out of there. Here's a shot from the blue line that's wide of the net. And behind the net for the United States, Eruzione. Behind the net, they try and cut in front of the net, and it rolled behind the net finally on the stick handle is Leif Holmgren. Still back there, battling away for it. And they'll try and pin the puck in if they can, but they weren't able to. That's cleared along the boards, but still kept in by Weinstock. He takes a shot that's steered into the corner, and it's all the way back out at center ice again. Here's Naslund coming over the line. Naslund stick handling, shoots it. He's wide of the net with it. The U.S. having a difficult time gaining possession of the puck here as the checking by the Swedes has been very good. You see the time remaining in the game. 1:03 as against the far boards. Here's a shot. That's stopped by Craig. Into the corner, Kristoff. Coming to center ice now, and here goes Craig. He's out of the net. Over the line comes Christian. Christian cutting for the net. Christian into the corner. Still with that puck. Now to Pavlich. Pavlich trying to find a man in front. The net is empty, and it winds up in the crowd, and it'll be called for a face-off to the right of the Swedish goal.
Craig on the bench, the extra attacker out there with only 41 seconds remaining in the hockey game. Face-off in the Swedish zone. This is where the importance of having good face-off men comes in, trying to win possession of the puck. And I'm sure the United States, Herb Brooks will have his best draw man in that circle, trying to win possession. When you've got that man out, trying to get the opportunity to tie up the hockey game, and at a very, very important 1 point, if they do tie it, that would bring them back against Sweden. Getting that 1 point, they would certainly have that medal aspirations with the tough game tomorrow against Czechoslovakia.
All right, we've got Silk out there. He has been the #1 player for the United States in this game. He has their goal, but he's also had a number of chances. Johnson's out there for the U.S. Pavlich on the blue line. Baker and Ramsey. Ramsey's got the puck. There's the shot. It's blocked in the defense. Now it's cleared over to this side. Baker has it. 35 seconds remaining. Into the corner. Behind the net now, the United States with the net empty and trailing by 1 here. Against the boards. It's rolled out in front. Here's a chance. Scores! Baker! And the Olympic Arena here in Lake-Plăside goes crazy.
Great shot and a great goal. Baker moved in from the point. Moved right into the top of the circle, and the puck came across. Being on the right side and the left shot. As it came across, he shot all in one motion. He didn't try to set up a putt, put it in that. That ensures that 1 point that they want out of this hockey game. A very, very, very important goal for the United States.
Well, with the extra attacker out, Bill Baker of the United States from the University of Minnesota. And listen to the crowd here at the Olympic Arena. You know, you talked about home ice advantage. When you're playing before your own countrymen, get a look at it again.
There we see the puck now. Look where Baker has moved into, just to the top of the circle. Beats Lindgren on his glove side, but he didn't wait, didn't try to set it up. We're going to see another angle here. You see Baker just at the top of the screen, moving in. The left shot, it comes across, doesn't waste any time at all. Shoots all in one motion.
On the face-off, the puck is cleared in. Golfed around the boards by Sweden. This has got to be a downer for them. Eriksson clearing it all the way down the ice. There's just 10 seconds left in this game, and it's called on the icing, and we'll have a face-off in the Swedish end to wrap this hockey game up. Well, get your good face-off man again. There's Baker.
It's not over yet. The United States may get 2 out of this. They were hoping to get that tie, but this is a very important face-off. They're going to try for 1 shot here with 9 seconds to go, and they'll get it if they get the draw.
Well, they're going to line them up in front of that net. We've got Christian back on the blue line along with Baker. A couple of good shots. Johnson also out there. Steve Kristoff. Johnson will take the draw against Sweden's Håkan Eriksson. So, 9 seconds remaining. Look at Christian. He's playing right at the top edge of the circle. He's the point man. From the face-off, puck goes over in front of the net, but now the Swedes have it. They bring it out of their own end. Jan Eriksson clearing it all the way down the ice. Craig will look up at the clock. He touches the puck, and there goes the horn. The fans here at the Olympic Arena are going to go home happy. They saw a comeback, and Sweden had to come back twice in this hockey game to gain a 2-2 tie. And as you said, Tom, a very, very important single point for the United States.
It may be their most important point of the whole tournament, because that 1 point, as we said later down that road, may make a big difference to their medal aspirations.
Well, the United States had a slow down first period. They were outshot 16-7 by the Swedes and were down 1-0, but they came back in the second period, got the only goal of that period. It was 1-1 coming into the third, and the teams divided goals. Thomas Eriksson scoring early in the period, and then Bill Baker with less than a minute remaining. And the United States gains the 2-2 tie. There you see goaltender Jim Craig, who I was very impressed with in this hockey game. Very cool customer out there. Played a pretty good game.
Both goaltenders played well. Craig was steady. Lindbergh made some spectacular saves. Earlier in the hockey game, Craig was really tested and really stood up well. And then late in the hockey game, as we've said before, when the United States came back, he was called upon to make some excellent saves. But good goaltending, super hockey game. Both clubs went from beginning to end. A well-played game, a fast game, not that many penalties. A good hockey game.
Final shots on goal in the game for Sweden, 39, for the United States, 29. In the third period, Sweden outshot the USA 12-10. And there you see the final score. The United States 2, Sweden 2. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Welcome back to our CTV Olympic coverage in Lake-Placid, New York. And I'm sure you'll agree, Team USA and Team Sweden put on an action-packed game. And boy, what a finish, pulling the goalie and getting the tying goal. It was 1-1 heading into the third period, and Sweden went with a 2-1 lead. Lars Molin, number 23, passed it to number 27, Thomas Eriksson, and the 20-year-old defenseman makes no mistake beating goaltender Craig. What a combination in this game. Molin, one of the outstanding Swedish players, combining with Eriksson, number 27. Watch Eriksson in front again on the replay, and he fires it home past Craig, and Sweden goes up by a score of 2-1. Then the action, and boy, was there action. The crowd on their feet cheering the U.S. team on. 23-year-old defenseman Bill Baker scores and ties it up. Here's the shot. Coach Herb Brooks pulling goalie Jim Craig in the final seconds, and Bill Baker makes no mistake and he ties the game, USA 2 and Sweden 2. And we'll have more coverage from Lake-Plăside. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. The defending Olympic hockey champions are, of course, the Soviet Union. And their opening game today here at Lake-Plăside against Japan. And the Soviets were once again simply awesome as we pick up the action at this game underway at the Olympic Fieldhouse. Boris Mikhailov, the greatest goal scorer in Soviet history, number 13, dazzles here with his play, gets the puck to Sergei Starikov. Petrov also gets an assist, and the Soviets are en route right now. That set the pattern of the game. Starikov scoring first. Then Mikhailov made it 3-0 for the USSR, and the barrage continued. Goal number 4, the Soviets' goal here came at 12:19 of the opening period from the stick of defenseman Vladimir Fedosov, right there on the rebound. Petrov and Harlamov assisting on the goal. But Vladimir Petrov right there along with Fedosov, and he sends it home. A gallant effort by the Japanese goaltender Iwamoto. He gave it a gallant effort in goal with Japan, but his non-existent defense certainly didn't help him out. Alexander Golikov made it 5-0 on a 2-on-1 passing play from Makarov at 14:59. Then at 17:30, Balderas scored to make it 6-0. The Soviets' 7th goal from Vladimir Golikov, the younger brother of Alexander. And then Vladimir Golikov scored again at 19:26 of the first period, and it was 8-0 for the Soviets. No stopping the Soviets in this game against Japan. 6 seconds into the second period, Petrov scored, and it just continued and continued. 9-0 at that point. Kazadanov scored to make it 10-0. Vladimir Golikov got another goal. And then Boris Mikhailov made it 12-0. And one had to have a little sympathy for the Japanese national team. Fedosov rounded out the scoring, and they have just scored again, and it's 14-0 for the Soviets over Japan. We'll have more coverage as this is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
The Soviet Union team is the heavy favorite to win the gold medal here at this Olympics, as they have in 6 of their last 7 tournaments. To be fair, the Japanese are still learning. At the moment, they're ranked right at the bottom of the list in the 2 divisions here. Now to the rink, and commentators Ron Roosh and Tom Watt.
Thanks very much, Lloyd. And the story here, of course, is just the Soviet Union completely running away from Japan. You have to pity Japan a little bit. They've just been totally dominated and bombarded. They ought to also pity the poor goaltending. Takeshi Iwamoto started the game, and now the second goaltender, Minoru Misawa, is in. The scoring in this game is it's now 15-0, 7:35 remaining in the contest. Alexander Golikov has 2 goals and an assist. Vladimir Golikov has 2 goals and an assist. Valery Harlamov, a goal and 4 assists. Boris Mikhailov has 4 assists in the game. Vladimir Petrov has 2 goals and 2 assists. Helmut Balderas, 1 goal and 2 assists. And the shots on goal right now, Soviet 62, Japan 19. Tom, you really can't judge how good the Soviets are or will be the rest of the tournament, but against a team like this, certainly all they're doing now is just having fun out there. Really.
Well, everybody in the world knows they have a great team. They're the world's champions, and certainly Japan, coming from the B group, are in a great deal of difficulty in playing a hockey game like this. When we get a moment, there's some interesting changes, however, in the lineup for the Soviets.
All right, well, let's pick up the play now. That's Fedosov, number 2, blasting one right at the Japanese goal. The Japanese coming away with the puck, but they get it only out to center ice before Kazadanov takes over. Feeds Balderas, who just deflects it into the Japanese zone. We've got 6:45 left in this hockey game. At center ice now, the Japanese coming over the line and carrying the puck there is Hoshino. He got the shot away, but it was well wide of the net. And at center ice once again. Down over the line, Balderas cutting out in front of the net, but it rolled off the end of his stick, and the puck is flipped out to center ice once again. Kazadanov turning with it, working on a defensive pair here with Fedosov. Here's Balderas in over the line. He shot that one wide, and the puck bounces out all the way over to the other side. Out at center ice. There's it behind the net. Fetisov touching it back there, and it's called on the icing. The face-off will come back in the Japanese zone with 6:13 left. 15-0. The Soviet Union is leading. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Play underway here off the face-off. Alexander Golikov inside the Japanese zone, rolls it out in front. There's a high shot taken at the side of the net by Makarov. It goes into the corner. Japanese player falls, and picking up the loose puck is Vladimir Golikov. Rolls it in front, and a chance there for Makarov, but it rolled wide and over to the far boards. Japanese coming out at center ice, but again the Soviets take over. Vasilyev in his own zone, feeds it out to center ice. Makarov, he ducks a check. And trailing on the play and carrying the puck over the line is Vladimir Golikov. Out in front, there's the shot. It's right on the rebound, and it flips high in the air and is batted out of the air and into the net for the 16th goal for the Soviet Union. And scoring that goal, Alexander Golikov, who now has a 4-point night going for himself as well, and that completes his hat trick.
Well, there's nothing to this game, is there? Because after the original shot, the puck does come up in the air, and Golikov really bats the puck out of midair. There's the puck out, up, bouncing right out of midair into the net for his goal.
So Golikov will get the goal, 16-0 now with 5:10 remaining in the game. Makarov will get it a point as well. So the time of the goal, 14:49. Puck against the far boards. Picking it off there is Maltsev, the veteran. He swings a pass away to this side, and Pervukin. Pervukin to Krotov. Krotov working for the line now, cutting around the defense, going to the side of the net, now sweeping it back out to the blue line, and it will go to Bilya Litvinov. His shot kicked way out on a long rebound, and the Japanese will try to come out to center ice with it. Sakurai, he gets over the line, knocks down a bouncing pass, tried to roll it in front of the net. Should mention that Vladimir Mishkin is in goal for the Soviet Union. After the first period, he has not really been tested too much in this hockey game. Maltsev. Maltsev, that's Pervukin at the blue line, and is knocked down at the defense. The Japanese come away again, and players fall right at center ice. Puck is against the boards. Lebedev, Fuji, and now here come the Soviets once again. Maltsev backing in towards that. There's the shot as he spun and fired that one. And again, it goes to the side of the net. Lebedev after it. He's number 11 out there for the Soviets. Here's a shot that's wide of the net. Lebedev gets it again behind the net. Maltsev circling out in front again. Maltsev getting set. There's the shot, and he is dumped just as he got that shot away, and the goaltender is forced to make the save. Back down in the Soviet zone. Pervukin ahead. Maltsev over the line as the Japanese got caught on a change there. Maltsev spun around, gets it against the boards. It's cleared up ice, and Pervukin goes back for it. Kazanov behind his own net. Now clears it into the corner. Over to the far side. Kazanov. Pervukin out at center ice. Turning with it is Mihailov. Over for Petrov. He hits the line. Petrov in against the boards. Petrov trying to get set for a pass, and it went off a leg, still inside the blue line as Kazanov controlled it momentarily, then lost it to the Japanese, and here they come over the line, and just as they were trying to set up a play in front of the net, the pass was intercepted by Kazanov, called on the offside at the blue line. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. There's the coach of the Soviet team, Viktor Tikhonov.
Well, it's very interesting that Coach Tikhonov has made a few changes. There we see a real upset. Poland 5, Finland 4. That's a very big upset in this tournament that has just started today.
And interesting news as far as Team Canada's chances, too, because that's one of the teams that Canada really felt it had to beat in order to make the medal round. And they've already been beaten by Poland. Puck is over the line. They'll be playing them on Saturday. Mihailov hitting it into the corner. Harlamov, number 17, working out to that blue line. Harlamov still with that puck, trying to keep it on his backhand. Now it gets to the forehand, but he gets bumped and spun around a bit. And now it's Petrov. No, it is not. It's Fetisov. Fetisov over to Petrov. Petrov, with lots of room, gets in front of the net and shoots. And the puck is cleared away by the defense after it's being blocked by Misawa, the Japanese goaltender. Now Wakabayashi over the line, and just as he got over the line, it's checked away by Kasatonov. bounces out, runner out over the blue line, brought back in, and then cleared out over center ice. Here's Mihailov on a break. Mihailov in front of the net, and he took a pretty good slash there from Wikasa of the Japanese. Petrov against the boards. Fetisov to Petrov. There's a shot that's right on. It's loose out in front. There's a shot through the goal crease from a bad angle taken by Mihailov. And now it's Petrov in the corner. He tried to drop it off for Mihailov, who had his back to the play. Jammed in against the boards. Harlamov moves in, takes the puck, gets out in front of the net. Now gives it to Petrov, who tries to jam it in and fails. And the puck is behind the net. Now here's Kazadanov. Kazadanov to Mihailov. Mihailov with 1:01 left in the game. Mihailov back to the blue line. There's taken by Kazadanov. Kazadanov to Harlamov in front of the net. It's deflected to Fetisov. Down goes the goaltender, and it's called for a face-off. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network. Well, we've had a little bit of shoving while we were away in between Nakamura of the Japanese team. Valery Harlamov has been right in the middle of this, too. The temperature, well, they were starting to throw the weight around a little bit over the last little bit. I think promoted by the fact that that slash there on, I guess it was Mihailov going in on the net.
Well, the Soviets have been very, very mean, and they're trying to dominate teams physically. I talked to Herb Brooks, the United States coach, when they played in New York City last Saturday, and he said that the Russians were the meanest he has ever seen them. I don't know whether that's a reflection on the political situation. Here we see the scuffle in front of the net, grabbing over shoulders, and the sticks come in, and everybody starts getting, you know, pushing that glove in the face, and that's what starts things going. Here's everybody kind of into it, but the Soviets really haven't played the gentleman in this tournament to this point.
All right, out there, Shlukov. He'll face off the tallest player on the Soviet team. Big fellow, number 22. And we're underway with 51 seconds remaining in the game. There's a shot from the blue line. Petrov rolls it in front of the net. Nobody there could knock it down. Balderas. It was out there. It's cleared over two lines down into the Soviet zone. Come back for a face-off just a couple of feet inside the Japanese blue line.
Well, there's a fellow that's traded some pins already. There are lots of people here that make an occupation out of trading pins, getting as much as they can. They're trading outside the arena in all the venues.
On the face-off, Balderas against the boards. Balderas being checked there by Asuma. Fuji goes in the corner after the puck, and it's cleared out. Starikov over for Balderas. Good move in front of that. Balderas shoots. It's right on. He gets the puck again, rolls it in front. They flip it wide of the net. That was Sportsov there. Now Sportsov getting another chance at it. Gives it to Balderas. Balderas unable to get loose as it rolls off his stick, and he has to go back out to center ice for it with 14 seconds remaining. The score is 16-0. The Soviets are leading. Running up the goal count, of course. It may be a factor before the tournament is over. Now Sportsov over the line. Sportsov being checked from behind, and as he's checked, the horn goes. This hockey game is over, and the Soviets have won it easily. They had an 8-0 lead at the end of the first period, and they finally skate to the dressing room after this is over. 16-0, the final score. They had over 70 shots on goal in this one.
Well, the Soviets have made, we see Michigan, who shared in the shutout tonight, but the Soviets have made some interesting changes in their team, and Canadian fans who are going to see more of them on our coverage of hockey will realize that there are 8 members of the Dynamo team, which toured Canada earlier and the United States earlier this year, and there are 11 members of the Red Army Club. So 19 of the players here have really been quite familiar to Canadians in the last month or so, playing in Canada with either Red Army or Dynamo.
All right, the teams with the traditional handshake at center ice, and they'll head for the dressing room. The Soviets have got their tournament on, their defense of their Olympic gold medal of 1976. And the Japanese draw a hand from the crowd. One thing about them, they didn't quit skating. They always try, no matter how far behind they get in things. But they were just overwhelmed by the Soviets. There's the score, 16-0 final score.
Well, the Soviet Union have got a great hockey team, and another interesting member of the Soviet team is Vladimir Krutov, who is a junior that they brought along this year with their team. He was a member of the World Junior Championship Soviet team, which won the tournament in early January in Helsinki. And so he's another young star on the Soviet horizon.
Well, you talk about young Fetisov, who's just 21, who's already been with the team, what, 3 years now, Tom? And Sergei Starikov, second year on the team. So they are continuing to develop great hockey players, and this team just doesn't look like it's ever going to start to fold up on people.
And there have been some changes in the Soviet defense. Babanov and the veteran Luchenko have been left at home. They are not on the team. And another very surprising person left off the team was Kapustin, who did play on the line with Balderas and Zhluktov and made up a real formidable unit. But for some reason, I don't know whether he's been injured or not. He was hurt during the series with Red Army in New York City. He was hurt in a practice session in early January, but at the present time, Kapustin is not with the team.
Well, there you see the standings after 1 day of play, in effect the first round, and Canada, nice to see it, right up there on top with the Soviet Union, and Poland. A bit of surprise. You saw a little bit of that game against Finland, in which Poland defeated the Finns, upset the Finns, and they may be the surprise of this particular round.
Well, Poland, certainly people say, well, you know, Poland, we don't know too much about Poland international, but Poland has had a hockey tradition for quite some time. Poland was in Group A of world hockey. Not only were they in Group A, but they played pretty well. If you remember in 1976, when the World Championships were in Katowice in Poland, they upset the Soviets in one game, and really that upset that Poland had over the Soviets caused the Czechoslovakian team to win the gold medal in 1976. So they are capable. They've done it before, pulling upsets. There have been a lot of Soviet and Czechoslovakian coaches in Poland in the last decade trying to bring about changes in their own hockey system.
Okay, Tom, and when you talk about going back to Poland, the first coaches that really had any impact in that country were the Warwick brothers, interesting enough, back in the late 50s when they went over there. So the story here then, 16-0, the Soviet Union defeats Japan. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic Network.
Lloyd Robertson with Bernie Pascal as we are back at Lake Placid live, continuing our coverage of the 13th Winter Olympic Games. Well, the Soviet Union 16, Japan nothing. The Japanese, as we said earlier, Bernie, are seated right at the bottom of the red and blue divisions here. However, like so many other things they do so well, they are borrowing from the United States. They are borrowing from Canada. They have European coaches over there trying to teach them how to train. So with any luck at all, they may be better as this tournament moves on, and certainly for the next time. But Bernie, the Soviet Union really does look invincible. It's not just that Japan is bad, it's that they're so good.
No question about it, Lloyd, and I think we said at the outset that they're simply awesome, and they were. And you can score 16 goals in a championship game like this, and something like 70-plus shots. That's more than a shot a minute, and the 4 Japanese goaltenders really had their hands full. But I would think that if anyone was to knock off the Soviets, it would have to be superb goaltending, and Team Canada can skate with the Soviets. I think Team Canada can skate with them, but they'd have to get just superb goaltending to stay in the game. But there's no question, the Soviets will win it all here.
Right. Well, we have a few highlights from that game. They certainly weren't Japanese highlights. They had to be Soviet highlights. Goals they scored, Bernie.
Right, and how do you pick highlights when there are 16
from
goals?
16, right.
We have a few of them, Lloyd. Alexander Zhluktov scored the game's 14th goal, and it was a pretty good effort here from Balderas and Skvortsev. And you go down the Soviet roster, and every player had a point. And they used the 2 goaltenders, Mishkin and Tretiak. 16 goals. There's Balderas. Well, we got another one, I think is the expression there. And Zhluktov from Balderas and Skvortsev as we see it again on the replay. And I'm sure the Japanese team very happy that the game is out of the way. And you made mention, Lloyd, that there are Canadians over in Japan. Terry O'Malley of the Canadian national team coached there for some 7 years. There are ex-NHLers. Gary Monahan, who played with Vancouver and Toronto, is over there. A youngster, Scott McLeod, who played on a Memorial Cup team, is there, and also a couple of Soviets. So I think in time, Japanese hockey will improve, but I don't think to beat the Soviets, though.
No. Well, the Japanese have really been working on it, of course, since the Olympic Winter Games were held in Sapporo.
That's right.
That's when they really started to pay attention to hockey, and that isn't really very long when you consider the traditions of Canada, the United States, and the Soviet Union with their hockey histories.
Oh, that's very true.
Ron Roosh and Tom Watt are still over at the field house, the arena, the new one, which is built here in Lake Placid. And we'd just like to run down the scores, Ron and Tom, and then tell us what you think of what has happened on this opening day of hockey. hockey. It was Canada 10, Holland 1, of course, in the first game, US 2, Sweden 2, and need we say the Soviet Union beat Japan 16-0. Not much you can say about that. But from the way the games have shaped up, what kind of tournament are we looking at, Ron?
Well, I think Lloyd, you know, when you take the look at what Canada did this afternoon, I think I was quite impressed with what I saw with Canada, and I think we have to look at what Poland did today as well, being in the same group and so on. And Tom, the next matchup is Canada versus Poland.
Yes, well, that we didn't expect that perhaps the Poland game would be as important as it shapes up to be when we play them on Thursday, because we've been thinking all along from the experience we've had, and we haven't played Poland this year, that Finland certainly had an excellent team. We played against Finland in Rude Prava in September in Prague, and we played against Finland in the Izvestia tournament. We won 3-1 in Prague. We had a scoreless tie at the Izvestia tournament in Moscow in December. But the scoreless tie was quite a bit of an upset, really, because Finland expected to beat our Izvestia team. We hadn't won a game. That was the last game of the tournament. We came to a scoreless tie. And had they beaten us that day, because they had a tie with Czechoslovakia earlier on in the tournament, they could have won the silver medal in Moscow in December. And they have an excellent hockey team. They're big and strong. I watched 2 periods of that game today before coming over to do this game, and they didn't play nearly as well as I've seen them play in the past. They have a big defense. They skate well. They've got good goaltending. They play a lot like Canadians play, the Finnish team, but for some reason today they didn't play well. But conversely, Poland was a little bit of a surprise. They seemed to outskate Finland today, and I would have to think that the biggest upset in the games that we've had today, in the 6 games that we've had today, well, there was another little bit of an upset, Romania upsetting Germany as well. But I think that perhaps at another level, the Poland win over Finland would have to be the biggest surprise of the day, and forces the next game, Canada and Poland, to be a very important one if Canada wants to win a medal here later on.
Okay, Tom, so that's the story then here. Just a quick comment on Canada's game. It was one of those games. All right, I think we've just lost our feed here from the arena, so I think we better switch things back to Lloyd and Bernie. This is Tom Watt, Ron Roosh, here at the Olympic Fieldhouse.
Thank you very much, Ron. By the way, when the pictures were coming from there, they were beautiful pictures tonight. That's a brand new facility, as you know, Bernie. Seats 8,000 people, and from your experience in looking at rinks all over the world, I know you feel yourself as one of the best you've ever seen.
Just a beautiful building, Lloyd, and seats, as you mentioned, a little more than 8,000. It's just a gorgeous spot. And there's not a bad seat in the place. And I think now, after we had a taste of the hockey today, there'll be more and more fans out there. And, of course, we'll have all the coverage here for you on CTV.
That's right. And for those people who know something about that facility here in Lake Placid, there is an Olympic-sized rink in there. There's also a regular-sized ice surface. And then right next to it is the old building. And there's an Olympic-sized surface in there as well as a regular surface. Bernie talked yesterday to Claire Drake about the cuts that had to be made in that Canadian team on coming to Lake Placid.
Co-coach Canada's national hockey team, Claire Drake. And Claire, I think one of the biggest decisions you'd had to make so far in the championships was telling 5 players that they're no longer on the team. And the dedication that the players have given you since day one, I guess that was very difficult.
It really was, Bernie. It's the toughest part of coaching, no matter what team you're with. And I think it's especially tough for this team because we've been together as kind of a family for 6 months in Calgary. And the players have lived virtually with each other, very close together. And so I think the bonds and the friendships and things that have been formed between them make it that much more difficult. Now, on a normal team, a lot of times you don't see a player very often, but with this team, we've been especially close, and so it makes it that much more difficult.
We hear a lot about the national team and what they have to do to win a medal here at Lake Placid. What do you feel is needed to be in the medal standings?
Well, Bernie, I think that one of the main things that we have to do is to really keep our poise and be patient. We're a young team, about 21.8 years, I think it is on the average, and we have had some ups and downs. We've had some times when we've lost our poise a little bit. And I think international play, it's going to be very important that we keep our poise and we're patient. We do the right things and do them consistently, I guess. Consistency is probably the key thing. I think we've got a very young, exciting, fast team that really can do almost what we want. I mean, you know, the heights we might scale are unlimited, really, but we do have to be patient and keep our poise and try and be consistent. That's probably the key.
Bernie talking with Claire Drake, one of the coaches of the Canadian team, about the cuts that had to be made, and they were inevitable, the cuts that had to be made when the Canadian team came down here to compete at Lake Placid. Bernie, we had a look at the United States team tonight, and I didn't get a chance to ask Tom about this because we lost our picture from the rink. But what did you think of a team that is poised to win a medal this time, certainly, and to do well on home ice?
Well, we look back to Squaw Valley, of course. Lloyd, that was the great U.S. hockey team, Jack McCartan in goal. And the fact the Olympics are here in the United States, and the tie today against Sweden had to be a moral victory. And Team USA is a lot like our Canadian national team. They have a lot of young college players. They have something like 8 or 9 players that have been drafted by National Hockey League teams, much like Team Canada. But they're a young, aggressive team, and I think with all of Canada supporting our team and the Americans behind Team USA, I think it'll just add to spectacular hockey.
Well, as you say, they're all college players, and some pretty spectacular college players have come out of the U.S. A lot of Canadians, indeed, have played in the U.S. Phil Esposito, for one, and Ken Dryden, I understand, spent some time at American colleges. The quality of hockey at American colleges, therefore, must be improving for the benefit of the pro teams.
Right. Well, goalie Tony Esposito was the U.S. college team, and just an outstanding NHL goalie, and we know that. And Team Canada, the Ken Berries and the Kevin Maxwells, all have played at U.S. colleges, and now we're back playing with Team Canada. But the hockey program there has really improved.
Right. Well, of course, we're looking forward to what the U.S. can do, but most of all, we're looking forward to what Canada can do in this particular tournament. And the score again today was Canada 10, Holland 1, the U.S. tying Sweden 1-all, and the Soviet Union beating Japan 16-0. This is CTV, Canada's Olympic network. Well, for those of you who tuned in late and may be puzzled by hockey that you're seeing tonight, the hockey has to wrap up before the closing ceremonies and before the other events begin. Here again is Frank Rigney.
Well, as you can see, once again, I've come up with a tough job today. You might get an indication from the hat where I'm located, but if you haven't yet, I'm in the Austrian house, in a hospitality house we've really enjoyed all evening long, and I've got some very pretty ladies with me, as you can see. I'll have them introduce themselves to you right now. Helga?
My name is Helga, and I'm coming from Vienna.
Tell me, Helga, has all of the press been able to enjoy the facilities here at the Austria House?
Oh yes, they do enjoy it very much, and we like having press around us very much.
May I ask you, pretty lady, your name and where you're from?
I am Ute and coming from Innsbruck, from the Tyrol.
How about the public now? Does the public get a chance to enjoy this as well?
Yes, they do. And we have open from 10 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. and we serve tea and coffee and white wine, red wine, and an Austrian apple cake.
I'm sure they enjoy your hospitality. And Christine, it seems like you've almost created a home away from home atmosphere for not only the competitors, but the people surrounding the Austrian team.
Listen, the Austrian house should be a communication center for everybody, for the actives, for the journalists, people to meet here and feel at home.
Well, you're doing a tremendous job public relations-wise for your country, and I hope you're enjoying the Olympics so far.
I hope that we will enjoy the Olympics, except that we have got quite a lot to do. That's the problem.
I'm sure you're very busy here at the Austrian House. Ladies, I'd like to just toast you and thank you very much on behalf of Canada. Thank you.
Frank, you certainly do get around. Well, a reminder now that tomorrow afternoon here on the CTV network, the full national network, will have the opening ceremonies from the horse show grounds, which for tomorrow will be called the opening ceremonies grounds here at Lake-Placid. And we'll be seeing once again what is the pomp and pageantry of a full and delightful display. I'm Lloyd Robertson for Bernie Pascal. Good night from Lake-Placid.
The 1980 Winter Olympics from Lake-Placid, New York. Brought to you by the Naranda Group of Companies. Naranda, like Canada's fine young Olympic athletes, we're proud to be Canadians competing worldwide. By Esso, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years. Fiberglass Canada Limited, helping Canada save energy for over 40 years. By Scotiabank, just around the corner, right around the world. By Sears, official clothing coordinator for Canada's Olympic teams. By Zenith System 3, now the best Zenith ever is even better. And by Shoppers Drug Mart, an official sponsor of Canada's Olympic teams.
CTV and Olympic teams from around the world chose Air Canada as their airline for the Lake Placid Games. Make the executive choice on your next trip. Fly Air Canada.